How's it going? My name's Milo Ilo. I talked about a video I wanted to make today, and here we go. So it was the topic I'd picked was about the use of music in video games to kind of convey emotion and like what music really provides in video games, and how I feel like um there's this nuanced way that it's implemented that really is interesting in the respect of like guidance. But just music in general, it's like I can hear a song and be teleported back to either when I heard it the first time or when it was like important, like it was just playing in the background in an important event, like Drake. I remember hearing in the locker room during football practice. All Star by Smash Mouth. I remember just something simple like going down the highway with my mom in the backseat of the car. Um, but not only is it nostalgic, but it has this way of like it's so emotional, and it's more emotional in like a physiological way, where I was actually doing some research, and there's this thing called a frisson, which is like when you get chills. Like the first time I ever listened to dubstep, I I remember the anticipation as the music arose and the beat was ready to drop, and it was I don't know what it was. It was like, oh, it was almost like my breath caught, and then when it dropped, it was just like a flood of emotion in a weird sense that like my hair on my arm stood up. I got goosebumps, and I'm like, wow, that was actually crazy. And then they played the shit out of it for like 2.5 years, and nobody liked dubstep anymore. But um, frisson is that emotional response, and the only time I ever remember feeling something like that was watching. And I'm sorry if I bring this up for somebody who doesn't like it. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. At the very end, when the mother's screaming and just wailing because of what had happened. Spoilers. Like I literally had to physically get up and leave the room that the movie was playing in because I was just so overwhelmed by the agony and the scream. Like there was something inside of me, like I could feel my monkey DNA like reactivating to this scream, like I needed to help. And frisson is like it is the so if you've ever had that emotional, like when you hear Whitney Houston, the and in any opera where it like it catches in your chest and you feel tears start to well up and your breath kind of quickens. That's literally your body trying to put you into fight or flight. Just like hearing that scream would put you into fight or flight to help or run away. This is putting you into fight or flight, except there's no threat, so all you're left with is the overwhelming emotion of the situation. It's like it's so cool how it taps right into our sort of, the biological structure that makes up who we are. Um, it's super interesting because they've done like I believe it's MRIs that they do where they'll literally watch the prefrontal cortex, and it's so encapsulating in this like weird way that like you can use music you can use music to hijack it. And it's so interesting because culture, like every culture has music. Nobody speaks the same language all over the world, but we all have music on a fundamental level where you have rhythms and beats, and it's usually a group thing. And it's like it's just so cool that it's like it's so worldwide, it's so universal. And it even gets to the point where it's like, man, if there was extraterrestrial life, would they also use music? Would they use rhythm and beat? Like it's just the ideas that you can put into it are amazing. um but in all honesty, this is about video game music. So now that I've kind of went over that tangent, like I feel like video game music, um video game developers and, you know, the composers that work with them directly, they do a really good job of giving us breadcrumbs. So like when you start on a journey, you get these little light notes, or like Minecraft. If you've heard the music from Minecraft, it's just so mellow and just kind of sucks you into this world where everything moves at the pace that you want it to. Pokemon has some of the greatest like adventure music. Like starting at Little Root and Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Starting in Little Root, it's like so, just, it's perfect. It's just got this tranquil vibe. And when you step into Route 104, it's like, it's time to put your shoes on. It's time to put your hat on. Get your Pokeballs. We're going on an adventure. And then you get into the battle music, and it's like, oh shit, like this is about to go down. It's so cool how they do it all. Lavender Town was a great example of, like you literally fought ghosts there. Of course it's creepy, you know, RIP Cubo Mom, but yeah, it's like just the way they can develop, the way that they're able to develop music into games, especially like with Pokemon in general. It's like that stuff was so low tech that, like, how do you even do that in the first place? So that's kind of off topic. Games like Final Fantasy 14, I think, does a really good job, even though it does it exactly on the nose. A lot of the fights, like the trial fights, and you know, just different fights with bosses, will have music and have lyrics, and it will literally be related to the like anti-hero or villain that you're fighting. And it's just so it's literally so on the nose that, and it's just great music. Like I think Shiva had probably one of the best themes in the entire game. I loved it so much. I literally listened to it on Spotify unironically just because it's such a good song. But it's just so good how they're able to give us these little pieces and kind of pull us along. And it's like in the same exact way that you can walk into a boss area and be like, hey, there's going to be a boss here because I've seen this before. The music does the same thing. You know, I know boss music when I hear it. And there's a meme on the internet about hearing boss music but not being a boss around is just anxiety personified. And it's so funny that we've been able to take this component of video games and just kind of like attach it to our own psyche. That like they've put it in there for a reason. It's not just there. They didn't just say, okay, put whatever song you want there. I just really enjoy how that's like manufactured for us to consume, and it really helps us get into the content and helps the immersion. Like I remember the first time I played Skyrim, the first big town you get to, you know, I mean, yeah, you could say big town, Whiterun. Like that the song was amazing. You could play that song at my wedding. Like, it was just that good. And it was just, I don't know, you just felt like you were part of it. It pulled everything together. Like, if the video game was a hot dog, like, it's the it's the ketchup. I think it did a great job. And I've just always appreciated it. And I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say exactly how I feel about it. And I just kind of wanted to come to the forefront and, you know, give you guys a video. Even if it is just for me at the end of the day. And I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. So, thank you. Got a couple new subs recently, and I want to thank both of you. Thanks for everybody that commented. And, yeah, I think that's it. My name is Milo Ilo. The Y's in my name are silent, but I will never be. Thank you guys. Have a good one.